Hi everyone, welcome to Lunch and Learn podcast with Join Momentum. My name is Fidel and I'm excited to be here today. We will be discussing something that I consider very important, especially in these times that we're in. And the topic for us today is exploring artificial intelligence. All right, and we'll be focusing on key business and industrial applications of artificial intelligence. All right, so some of the things that we will be going through in our conversation today will be, a brief history of artificial intelligence. Where did all of this start from? How did it start? How did we arrive here? What is even artificial intelligence? All right, then we will look at some key industrial applications. We'll also talk about some misconceptions and some myths that have been, spoken about in recent times. For example, some people say things like, will AI take over the world? I'm sure some of us have seen some films where the AI bots and the robots and all of the things decided to kill all the human beings in the world and everything. And some people, even till this day, like realistically, they are very careful with how much technology they integrate into their everyday lives, because they feel like one day technology will betray us. Artificial intelligence will just decide that it's no longer artificial anymore. All right, so let's start our conversation. So the first thing I want us to discuss will be artificial intelligence. What does that even mean? What is intelligence? All right, intelligence can be defined as the ability to process information, all right, and solve complex problems and make decisions that have beneficial outcomes. And this is according to Johns Hopkins. That is what you define intelligence as: being able to process information, solve complex problems based on that information that you have, and then arrive at a decision or a conclusion that is beneficial. The outcome is beneficial. So when we talk about artificial intelligence, or AI, as we like to call it, right? Simply put, AI, artificial intelligence, is basically the ability of computers, and I say computers because it's all computer work. All right, there's no there's no extra thing from somewhere, because some people think AI is witchcraft, is metaphysical. No, it's computers. All right, artificial intelligence is basically computers being able to think and learn in a way that is similar to human beings. I'll say that again. The ability of computers to think and learn in a way that is similar to how human beings will think. Remember, we already said intelligence is being able to take information that you have, process it, and based on that information that you have, make decisions, reach conclusions that are beneficial. All right, so that's what the computer is able to do. The computer is able to process all of the information that you give it, all right, make a decision, and then improve that decision every time it needs to make the decision again. So it's a continuous process, and that's where we start to hear some jargons like machine learning. What is that? It's very simple. Machine learning is actually machines learning, right? So how does AI work? AI works very simply. You give it information, you give it a lot of data, it processes that data, and based on what it has processed, is able to tell you things. Because some people have said things like, oh, AI is just a super fast search engine. Well, it can function as that, but it is not just that, because the intelligent factor, that intelligence that AI has, is that it is able to now give you answers. So, for example, if you give it information, just for a random example, you give it information about the number of people that have walked into your store over the last 1 year. Let's say you give it information about the number of people that have come, their age range, what they bought, all of those kind of things. The computer can now tell you that, okay, over the next 3 months, over the next 6 months, over the next 1 year, based on antecedents, based on the things that have happened in the past, I think you should stock up on these products. I think you should open your store around these hours, because this is when you have more people coming into your store. Based on all of those things, AI can give you all of that. So that's what AI does. Its ability to process information. All right. And so the machine learning part is that you give it a lot of information for it to actually learn. So the computer learns first before it can tell you anything. All right. And so why is it called artificial? Very simply, number one, it's called artificial because it is a human creation. All right. We can all agree that human beings, well, most of us will agree that human beings were created by a superior being, a God. There is an entity who has made all of us, and so that makes our intelligence God-given, natural. However, for the computers, it's artificial. All right. It's created by humans. It's not occurring naturally. It's a product of human engineering designed to replicate aspects of human intelligence, but it's not the same thing. All right. So AI systems, basically, they simulate cognitive functions, like I already said, learning, problem solving, decision making. And so while they can do all of these things, the underlying function there is different from the human brain. That's why we say it is artificial. And then AI systems operate within program boundaries. So there are boundaries. The humans who design all these things, the humans who put in all of the code, the humans who even program all the computers, are able to do all these massive things. There are boundaries within which the systems must operate, and that brings us into conversation about ethics and approval. What is permitted, what is not permitted, who can use AI, who cannot use AI. Some people have said things like, oh, if we begin to depend a lot on artificial intelligence, we'll see a decline in artistic expressions of human beings, creativity. I don't agree with that, and we'll still speak about that. All right, but the point is, AI functions within boundaries, and that's why all of these things about AI taking over and killing people, the likelihood of it happening is almost non-existent, because humans design the boundaries. All right. And so the second thing is that I'm explaining why it's called artificial. The second one is lack of consciousness. All right. There's a lack of consciousness. The systems are not conscious. They are only doing what they've been told to do. The programs have been written, the codes have been written, so they are only doing that. AI systems, despite their capabilities, they do not possess consciousness or self-awareness, as far as we know. All right, making their intelligence artificial. All right, that's why it is called artificial intelligence, because it's not naturally occurring, and also because these computers do not have consciousness. There is no self-awareness. All right, 5 things that we need to understand about artificial intelligence. 5 very important things. Number 1, learning. These computers are constantly learning. For those of us who are conversant with ChatGPT, which are just minute, very minuscule and minute aspects of AI. Because when you say AI, the first thing that comes to mind, ChatGPT. We'll look at industrial applications, and you see that ChatGPT is just something very little. As in the grand scheme of things, it's the one that is publicly available, and so that's one that is popular, but it is very, very small. All right. The first thing is learning. And as I was saying, for those of us who are conversant with, ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Copilot, which are some of the, artificial intelligence tools that are available, you will observe that when it gives you a response, when you type a prompt or you ask it a question and then it gives you an answer, there's a place where it says thumbs up or thumbs down, right? So it's trying to learn from your feedback. This answer I've given you, does it make sense? Did I answer your question? Was this okay? So when you give it a thumbs up, it recognizes that, okay, what I answered makes sense to this person. And so it records that. All right. That is part of the continuous learning process that all AI systems are involved in. All right. So AI systems learn from data, they learn from your experience, your feedback. All right. And that's how it works. That's the first one. The second thing is problem solving. Problem solving. When you talk about artificial intelligence, they were designed to solve problems. They were designed to look at situations, look at things that are, are existing, and based off of information that it has been fed, solve that problem. All right, that's the number two. Number three is pattern recognition. AI is very, very adept with recognizing patterns. It's able to spot patterns very, very importantly. And so it's used for things like, not to jump the gun, but predicting the weather, being able to detect fraud in banking. It's used in that aspect very, very massively. You'll be very shocked. All right. And then the fourth thing, all right, the fourth thing to note about artificial intelligence is decision making. Decision making based on what it learns, AI can make decisions, recommendations, suggestions. Think of it like a smart assistant. And as I'm saying that, I'm sure you're thinking, Siri, Alexa, all of those guys, artificial intelligence, natural language processing, for you to be able to have conversation with you. That's an aspect under AI, that you are able to speak to a thing. You speak to your phone, you speak to Alexa, you say, "Hi Alexa, tell me when my flight is," and it tells you, "Oh, your flight is for 11 p.m. tomorrow." That's NLP, all right, which is also an aspect under artificial intelligence. So you think of some of the applications, the smart assistant, adaptation. Another thing is adaptation. When I say adaptation here, it means that AI systems can adjust their, responses, the answers that they give based on new information that it encounters, based on feedback that it receives. So if you use a Claude, for example, or a Copilot or a Chat GPT, when it gives you an answer, if you give it a thumbs down, it recognizes that, okay, this person does not like this kind of answers. And so in the subsequent answers it will give you, you will notice that there will be a difference for those of us who use it, very, very well. All right. So the five things again, quick recap. Learning. All right. AI is very good at learning, good at problem solving, good at pattern recognition, good at decision making, good at adaptation. All right, these are the five things to note. All right, so some everyday examples of artificial intelligence. And the funny thing is, some of us already use artificial intelligence in our everyday lives, but we don't know. All right, but now you know, because I already said one. The first one, voice assistants, Siri, Alexa, those guys, it is artificial intelligence. Like I said, it's NLP, natural language processing. That's how those things work. And it is artificial intelligence. Yes, it is artificial intelligence. All right. Second one, for those of us who like to watch Netflix, recommendations. You watch a movie and then it recommends more. Or you listen to music and then there's a recommendation based on what you've been playing. That is artificial intelligence. You observe that it's becoming more personalized, especially on platforms like YouTube, right? It's more, sometimes you'll be like, how did they know I wanted to listen to this song? Or, oh my God, this is such a wonderful playlist. That's AI. You watch a movie, it recommends other movies that are in that genre. That is artificial intelligence. And some of these ones are basic. You're like, that one is basic now, but it is still artificial intelligence. We'll look at the grand applications in a bit, but I want us to see the everyday examples first. All right. Facial recognition to unlock your phone. You may not be aware, but that is artificial intelligence. And I'm sure in somebody's mind, they were like, wait, but these things have been around since now. How come AI is just, becoming, loud everywhere now? Well, we'll discuss that as well. There's a reason AI is becoming, really loud. As I said, there are massive applications, but AI has always been in use. AI is not new. In fact, AI has been since 1956. That was the first time there was ever like a conversation around artificial intelligence. All right, it's the first time artificial intelligence was used. That term was heard formally was at a conference called the Dartmouth Conference in 1956. All right, so what happened in that conference was five men came together. Five men. Their names were John McCarthy, Marvin Minsky, Nathaniel Rochester, Claude Shannon, and there's one other name I can't remember now. But we had 5 men who came together in the summer of 1956 to discuss the possibilities of computers. All right, they were just analyzing what computers could do, just having a conversation. It was a conference, so they were just having, exploring, thinking, sharing their thoughts. And then, John McCarthy, right, who some people call the father of artificial intelligence, was the person who coined that name, artificial intelligence. He was the one who coined that phrase, that term, artificial intelligence. And the goal of their conversation that day was to explore how computers could be made to simulate human intelligence. All right. So they were like, how can we make computers, do the things we do so that we're able to, spend less time doing things. That's why some people say that the best people to have in your team are lazy people. I mean, I get it in context, right? Because the whole idea was that, they wanted to see how computers can take load off of them. How can computers do more things that we are doing so that we have more time to do other things? Do you understand? And so they had that conversation, and that marked the beginning of AI as a field of study. It marks the beginning of AI as, as an agenda. There was research that they needed to do, right? That was the birthplace of artificial intelligence, all right? And so they began to discuss things like, machine learning, like I already said, NLP, neural networks, all right? That's just a fancy way of saying, how can computers think like human beings, process thoughts from point A to point B, all right? So some of all these things were things that, they had a conversation about at that point. And so fast forward to 1996. Remember I said the first conversation happened in 1956. And so 30 years after, of course, there were things that were done in 30 years, but in 1996, there was a landmark event for artificial intelligence. All right. We'll go on a short break now. All right. And when we come back, I'll tell you what happened in 1996.
Welcome to Join Momentum, where we're not just a company, but a community of digital innovators. At Join Momentum, our mission is simple yet powerful: to accelerate digital talents and business productivity through practical work experiences, trainee internships, and talent placement. We believe in the transformative power of hands-on experience and mentorship, so all our associates learn by doing, not just theories. Through these efforts, we build innovative products and solutions that address user needs and create value for our candidates, clients, and stakeholders. You can partner with us in our mission to accelerate digital talents and increase business productivity by working with us, hiring our talents, or investing in us. This is Join Momentum.
Join Momentum Learning and Development Squad have rolled out practical work experience simulation programs and scenario-based learning on a new platform called the Growth Academy.
At the Growth Academy, you will engage in real-world simulations and complete scenario-based tasks at your own pace, which are all inspired by global brands.
With consistent practice and support, our participants gain invaluable experiences across multiple disciplines such as product management, data science, project planning, business analysis, virtual assistant, business development, technical sales, cybersecurity, and many more.
The Growth Academy programs come with AI-powered evaluations. You will receive detailed feedback assessment directly to your inbox, guiding your skill development and areas of improvement. You can also showcase your new skills expertise by ordering digital certificates, which are perfect for demonstrating your competency to employers or clients.
You will also become part of a dynamic community of professionals, sharing knowledge and supporting each other on the path to success. And we empower you to step up as a leader, coach, by reselling any of our programs as your own and earn instant income while helping others grow in their careers.
Start your journey today at www.thegrowthacademy.co.uk.
All right, guys, welcome back from the break. Before we went on the break, we were discussing about artificial intelligence, and we had just defined artificial intelligence. Why is it called artificial intelligence? What's so artificial about it, right? We spoke about that. We spoke about some 5 things to know about artificial intelligence, and so we're just about to get deeper into the history of artificial intelligence. How did it become this thing that we know it to be today? All right. And so I was telling us that the first time that that term artificial intelligence was used was in the summer of 1956, when 5 men, all right, came together. One of those men was a man called John McCarthy. John McCarthy today is referred to as the father of artificial intelligence, because he was the one who coined that terminology, and he was also part of the founding team. He was a key member of the founding team that decided that they wanted computers to be able to simulate human intelligence. All right. And so they came together, the conference was held, and then they decided to do research. They decided that they were going to do deeper research. All right. And that conference in 1956 is seen as the starting point of the first wave of AI research. All right. And so I was telling us that fast forward to 1996, something happened. All right. What happened in 1996 was that IBM, all right, a lot of us know IBM. They're still around till this day. The company, the organization, they acquired a computer called Deep Blue, like Deep Blue Sea. They acquired a computer from a university, and so they acquired that computer and then further developed it into an AI computer. And so what they did in 1996 was that they organized a chess match between Deep Blue, the computer that they had acquired and further developed, and a certain man called Garry Kasparov. Now, Garry Kasparov was the reigning world chess champion at that time. And even till this day, he's regarded as one of the greatest players of all time. All right. And so they organized a chess match. And in February 1996, that chess match held, and Deep Blue lost. They played 6 chess games, and Garry won 4, Deep Blue won 2. And that was the first time there was anything about the practical application, first use of artificial intelligence. You remember the only time it had been heard about was a conference, and it was all just talk at that time. Nothing had been done until February 1996. Now, in 1997, which was the next year, May 1997 precisely, another match was held. A rematch was held between Garry Kasparov and Deep Blue again. And this time around, Deep Blue won. It was such a big deal because Garry was even upset that he lost. It was obvious he was upset. It made the news. And that was the first time there was a lot of noise about a computer, a supercomputer beating the world chess champion. They were like, how? How did that happen? Right? So that was the first time that AI was in the news because of that event. All right. And that was the first time there was anything called artificial intelligence, and people could see that, okay, there's something here. All right. So it was also the first time a computer was defeating a reigning world champion in a classical chess match under tournament conditions. So it wasn't a play, it wasn't a playful kind of thing. It was like a proper competition. Everything was set properly, and he lost. All right, that match received worldwide attention, and interestingly, IBM, their stock price significantly went up after that. Significantly. This was in 1997, May 1997. All right, and so that match showed a lot of people that, okay, there's something here. What had just been a conversation that some men had in 1956 1997 had become something that the world would reckon with, right? Because it was not just the fact that the computer beat him, it was the fact that the computer had lost before, all right? But because it had learned, remember we said machine learning, it had learned his moves. It had learned how to play Gary Kasparov. It had learned chess, right? And then it played him again and he defeated him. This time around, it was not close. It was very bad. It was bad. All right. And so it highlighted the rapid advancement of computer processing power and AI algorithms. That was the first time that it became a thing. All right. So let's now move into key business applications, because of course the topic of our conversation now is business and industrial applications of artificial intelligence. It's been so many years since that match and a lot of things have happened, all right, but let's see how AI is being used now and why it has become such talk of town all of a sudden all over the world. Everybody's saying AI. People are trying to see how to integrate AI into their businesses, into their organizations, into industries, all right. And it is not just because AI is a fancy thing, it's because the benefits have been seen. All right. And we'll discuss some of the benefits. The first one is innovation. Remember we said that the core of AI is problem solving. And so AI has that ability to help businesses and industries drive innovation by helping them develop new products, new services, new processes. For some people, it's not even about a product or a service, it's how their organization is being run. I'm currently doing, a master's in artificial intelligence and its application in businesses. And I can tell you that there are a lot of businesses that have transformed in the last 5, 10, 15 years by virtue of what AI brought into the picture. So some things that, the humans were not seeing or they didn't think it was possible, AI has helped to make it practical. All right. And so there are a lot of things that are being done, a lot of changes that are happening because artificial intelligence. And for some of these organizations, they did not tell the world that it was AI. People just observed that, oh, there was a new product line, a new service line, or a personalization. Maybe they were doing something they've always been doing a different way. They won't tell the world that it's AI because everybody wants to guard their business secrets. But in the last few years, everybody's learning now. People are coming to terms with it. What was kept as a secret for a few people is now becoming widespread. All right. So innovation, that's the first thing that makes it reasonable for businesses to adopt AI. Number two is improved operational efficiency. So what AI does is that it significantly improves the operational efficiency of your business. How does it do this? Very simple. It automates some routine tasks, right? You remember that was the crux of the conversation that happened in 1956. How that they wanted computers to do the routine things you do every day almost mindlessly. How about a computer does that so I can focus on things that actually require creativity, emotional intelligence, strategic thinking, things that a computer may not be able to do as well as you. In fact, emotional intelligence, computer cannot do that. Computer cannot do that. All right. So what AI does is it automates all these routine tasks, helps you to optimize some complex things. And so when it does that, you can now focus, the human resource of that organization, of that business, can now focus on higher value tasks. Like I already said, that will require creativity, emotional, intelligence, all these things. And so that shifts allow your employees to contribute more meaningfully to your business, and that will automatically improve operational efficiency. Now, the third thing is, as a result of that, increase revenue. When your operational efficiency goes up, your revenue goes up, all things being equal. All right. And so AI helps you with even insights from big data analytics. Analyzing big data helps you to understand how you can make better decisions, how you can identify new revenue streams in your business. And these improvements in efficiency, innovation, decision making, remember we said that decision making, it ultimately leads to increased revenue and competitive advantage in the marketplace. All right, very important. So let's see some things that are being used currently in the healthcare industry. And I really like this one because it's not just about profits, numbers, the market, or a market share. I really like this one because it affects human lives directly. And some of us may, already know about this, but I think for me, it's number one on the list. Like I already said, because it's not just about making money, it's about touching lives, right? In the healthcare industry, AI is used for diagnostics, for cancer. More than 2 million people are diagnosed with breast cancer every year, according to the World Health Organization. More than 2 million people. And what you'd find is that, breast cancer is the second most common form of cancer globally in the whole world. And early detection, like some of us already know, can lead to a better chance of survival, detecting it early. And so screening is important. Screening is critical. But then there's a shortage of specialists. In the UK here where I live, if you wanted to do a test or do a screening, you'd have to wait for, if you're lucky, a few weeks. If you're not so lucky, a few months. And that's a big deal because, like we already said, early detection can be critical to whether a person lives or dies. And then here comes AI with something that Google developed. You can look it up. It's called DeepMind AI. DeepMind AI. Google developed a tool that can detect breast cancer from a mammogram, and the accuracy is as high as a radiologist. You can check it out. DeepMind AI by Google. It takes the mammogram and it can detect if there's cancer. So instead of waiting to see a specialist, you do a mammogram, use this tool, and you can detect. And it has saved a lot of lives. That's not all. IBM, remember IBM from all those years ago? They also have a cancer tool, right, that analyzes the data of a patient, and then it can recommend cancer treatment that is personalized. So instead of waiting to see a doctor or joining a long list of people, remember we said time is important. This tool can take so many results and recommend treatments for them. Industrial application of AI, saving lives, not just for making plenty money or making profit, saving lives. All right. When we go to drug discovery, discovering drugs for some diseases, AI is also playing in that field as well. For those of us who know what the entire thing is like, you know that sometimes discovering drugs can take a very long time because they have to do a screening. They will do testing, test the compound, optimize this, optimize that, do a human test or do animal test first, do a human test. All of these things takes a lot of time. But with AI, researchers can eliminate some of these steps, accelerating the process of bringing new drugs out. Because what AI does is that the algorithm can help you. Remember we said it there, that it can process a lot of information very faster than human beings can. And so what AI does is that it will screen vast libraries of chemicals and combinations and compounds and all of these things, and then it will predict the efficacy of certain compounds. So it will tell you, I've tested 1,000 combinations. Of these 1,000 that I have tested, I can tell you that these 5 or these 10 are the most viable. Something that would have taken human beings maybe 2, 3, 4 years, AI can do it in 6 months or even less, saving time, saving cost. All right. And so there's a company that does that currently. So all these things I'm saying is not a futuristic thing. It's not it will be possible. It is already being used, right? You can look it up. The name of the tool is Atomwise. Atomwise, 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 currently doing, using AI for discovery of drugs and speeding up that entire process. All right. So that's in health. Let's move into finance. In finance, AI is used for fraud detection. All right. It can analyze transactions in real time and flag potential fraud. It can spot when something is not right. This is not in line with the person's pattern of spending, right? Something that banks would probably take some time to do, or maybe after the money has gone, that's when they will now be able to wait, there's something wrong here. AI does it in real time. And like I said, all this I'm telling you is not a futuristic thing. It's not what will be happening. It is what is already being used. So Visa, the company, Visa, they're already using it as we speak. They're using AI to detect fraud real time as transactions are going on. All right. And then chatbots as well in finance, and this one even it cuts across businesses all over the world. Instead of having, a room full of people who are taking calls and, doing all of those things. Now I know that there might be a downside to that, and we'll get to that, right? But what it does is the speed, the efficiency. Chatbots can quickly help with queries, inquiries, transactions, and it is quick, it is fast, it is on the go. All right, so that's very important. And Bank of America is already using it. I know Bank of America is using it. Bank of England, they're using it as well. And a lot of all these virtual banks, right? Revolut, Monzo, all of these guys, they're already using it. It's already in use. All right. Then when we go on to retail, e-commerce, right? Companies are already using it. I already told you. Netflix is using AI in their recommendation system to show you more movies based on the things that you've watched. They know the things you like, they will show you more movies like that. All right. Walmart is using AI for their inventory. Walmart, Amazon, they're already using it. It's already in use. Another one is there's an aspect of artificial intelligence called augmented reality. Augmented reality, and a lot of fashion brands, Sephora, ASOS, A&M, H&M, Marks and Spencers, Fenty, mention names. They're already using augmented reality for virtual try-ons. What does that mean? You see a shoe on their website, you can check if the shoe is your size with AI on your phone without having to physically order it first, try it. If it's not your size, return it, order another one. All that gambling has been taken off. In fact, a few years ago, I think it was in 2020, there was like a whole fashion event with a runway that was augmented reality, because of course people could not gather, right, and attend the event because it was in the pandemic year. All right, some fashion companies came together, leveraged augmented reality, which is, like I said, a substrata under AI, and they had like a whole virtual event where people could see clothes, try clothes on, pick the one that they liked, have it shipped to their homes. So all these things are already in use. All right, they are already in use, and I want us to embrace them. Transportation, Tesla is already using AI. All these autonomous cars, autonomous, semi-autonomous, basically cars that drive themselves, it is AI. It is artificial intelligence. Traffic management. Now you don't need to have a person manually controlling all the traffic lights and everything. AI does that. Uber, I think it was in 2021, they released a report of how like they used AI for route optimization. So telling drivers the best route to take instead of just driving, or maybe even maps, Google Maps and all those things. It's AI. Pricing, matching riders with drivers. Uber released a report and said we used AI for this, and it's shot our revenue up a great deal. All right, so that's for, we've spoken about healthcare, we've spoken about finance, we've spoken about retail and transportation. So these are some real life business applications that are already in use, and the world is coming to a place where AI is definitely taking over, and not in a bad way, right? Which leads me to some of the things that I've heard. Some people have said some misconceptions. misunderstandings about AI. Say, oh, AI will take jobs. And like I like to say, AI will not take jobs. In fact, it's making work easy. AI will not take any job. The person that knows how to use AI will take the job of the person who cannot use AI. That's what that's how I like to say it. AI is not taking your job. It is the person that can use AI that will take your job because you don't want to, learn, or you refuse to upskill. It's the same way many years ago when computers were going to, start to become a thing. There were a lot of people who revolted and said, no, computers will take our jobs, because there were actual human beings who were called computers. Actual humans used to compute, so they called them computers. But then when the system was built, people were like, oh, computers will take our jobs. But computers, yes, took some jobs, but it created more jobs. And today, virtually everybody is using a computer. Why? It makes life easy. So you had to go and learn how to use a computer. And that's the thing about life. It's constantly evolving. You must adapt. You must adopt new things. You must learn. You must grow. You must improve yourself. All right. So AI is not taking your job. The guy who can use AI most likely will take your job. All right. What's another myth again I've heard? AI will kill people. Like we already addressed this at the beginning of the conversation. So if you were not here at the beginning, you probably want to play it back. We already said it. We said AI does not have the consciousness, doesn't have that self-awareness. All right. It's been programmed within certain boundaries. And so it's impossible. It can't happen. The probability of that happening is less than 0.0001%. All right. So AI is not killing anybody. It's not going to kill your house and, all of those things. Have there been cases where AI malfunctioned? I'll be honest with you and say yes, there have been times when that happened, but all of that is down to the humans that programmed the system. As with anything that human beings are involved in, there's a tendency for there to be mistakes, mishaps. And, there was a case of a self-driving car. This happened in America, I think in 2022. Or 2021, if I'm not mistaken. A self-driving car, was being used for a test drive, and it ran into a pedestrian who was manually pushing her bicycle. Now, when they did the analysis and stuff, they realized that the people who had programmed the AI had not programmed AI to recognize a human being pushing a bicycle. So it had been programmed to recognize a human being. It had been programmed to spot an animal. It had been programmed to spot a wall. But, an omission, they did not program it to spot a human being pushing a bicycle. And so when it saw that, when the computer saw that, it did not stop. It continued moving, and then it ran into her. Thankfully, she didn't die. It was there. Of course, there was a lawsuit and everything. This was 2-3 years ago, and all of that has been improved. So AI is evolving. AI is moving. It's growing, and eventually, I believe it is the future. The future is already here. All right. So yes, guys. I hope I've been able to just make a very simple explanation as to what AI is and how it's been used in industries today. If you have any questions, please feel free to send me an email. I think I'll have that added at the end of on your screen. You can send me an email, or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you so much. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.
Next episode on Join Momentum Launch and Learn Podcast.
Welcome to Join Momentum, where we're not just a company, but a community of digital innovators. At Join Momentum, our mission is simple yet powerful: to accelerate digital talents and business productivity through practical work experiences, trainee internships, and talent placement. We believe in the transformative power of hands-on experience and mentorship, so all our associates learn by doing, not just theories. Through these efforts, we build innovative products and solutions that address user needs and create value for our candidates, clients, and stakeholders. You can partner with us in our mission to accelerate digital talents and increase business productivity by working with us, hiring our talents, or investing in us. This is Join Momentum.
Join Momentum Learning and Development Squad have rolled out practical work experience simulation programs and scenario-based learning on a new platform called the Growth Academy.
At the Growth Academy, you will engage in real-world simulations and complete scenario-based tasks at your own pace, which are all inspired by global brands.
With consistent practice and support, our participants gain invaluable experiences across multiple disciplines such as product management, data science, project planning, business analysis, virtual assistant, business development, technical sales, cybersecurity, and many more.
The Growth Academy programs come with AI-powered evaluations. You will receive detailed feedback assessment directly to your inbox, guiding your skill development and areas of improvement. You can also showcase your new skills expertise by ordering digital certificates, which are perfect for demonstrating your competency to employers or clients.
You will also become part of a dynamic community of professionals, sharing knowledge and supporting each other on the path to success. And we empower you to step up as a leader, coach, by reselling any of our programs as your own and earn instant income while helping others grow in their careers.
Start your journey today at www.thegrowthacademy.co.uk.